Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Aquarius collective here in late May 2026? It's Gemini season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in late May 2026. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out. There we go. Cool. So yeah, this card to me does seem pretty fun, and that's what I always say whenever it shows up. It's like very lighthearted. It's having a good time, and now of course, as with every card, there's like a double edge to it. But to me, it just has like a nice light vibe to it, which I think is great because even if we get some difficulties in the main part of the reading, at least we have this, right? Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see with this image, it's like a lot of toys here, right? We have the little snow globe, little pony or unicorn right there. We got the dolls and toy soldiers. So when I see things with like toys and lighthearted, childlike things, I think of fun and enjoyment and entertainment. So if you've been going through a bit of a difficult time, if you've been work, no play, maybe Spirit wants you to just do something for you, do something that you enjoy, whatever it might be, whether it's a hobby, whether it's going out, whether it's staying in for a night, whatever fits that bill for you. Spirit just wants you to enjoy yourself. Do something that you don't have to do. Do something that you want to do. That's what I always like about this card. Now, the only downside to this, aside from having fun, oftentimes this will show up when someone's feeling a bit stuck and they need to shake something up, right? But this card can also sometimes represent excess of any kind. So just watch out in this time. Again, if we start getting things like the Nine of Cups and the Three of Cups and stuff like that, that fits the bill. Just watch out for any sort of excess. Everything in balance, right? Nothing wrong with having a good time. No judgment here. But don't have too much of a good time, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. There could be a whole variety of different ways to indulge in excess, but we're just going to put it down right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius, my guide, spirit team. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So the energy I saw coming in towards Aquarius was actually pretty damn positive. The reading was titled A Massive Blessing, so I hope you had one. I always say that wins, victories, blessings, they all come in different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's more monetary. Sometimes it's interpersonal relationships. Sometimes you might just have some really great days, right place, right times type of stuff. But just know that energy, if you haven't received that blessing, that could still be open, right? Energy could bleed over from week to week. So let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aquarius in late May. What do we got going on for our good friends? Thank you. Lovers, cool, smooth. You're not the first sign that's gotten these guys this week. It is the Gemini card. We are currently in Gemini season, but I like the Lovers because it's a very smooth energy. Even if you're not dealing with anything like romantic or personal relationships, this is a very good card for a lot of reasons. Let's get a couple more. Here for Aquarius, please. That is being very specific now. There we go. Cool. So 2 cards came out together. This is going to be intriguing because we're getting a lot of other people showing up. So it's like other people's energy. So we got the Knight of Cups right there in the center, and he popped on out with our good friend here, Mr. Emperor himself. So we have a nice dynamic of energy going on. And for some of you, this could absolutely be an amazing flow of energy, depending on the situation. Others, maybe not so much. It's very people-y. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like the elements frame the reading and tell us how comfortable you might be with the energy and how it flows. And we have a nice mixture, right? We have air, water, fire. Cool. Now, when it comes to air, even though you are the water bearer, Aquarius, you're technically an air sign. So when I see air element leading off a reading for you, that's always great for me. When I see it could represent a lot of things. It's very logical, very pragmatic. It could represent matters of the mind, either giving or receiving information. So you might have a thirst for knowledge in this time or trying to figure something out. It is very thought provoking. Air energy does tie in heavily with communication as well. Talks, messages, conversations, all that kind of stuff, especially with all these people. Feels a little chatty to me, more so than usual. Um, the downside to air is that sometimes it can overthink. And the other downside to air is that sometimes it could be cold and detached. So it's all about balance, right? Now, moving to the middle, we have water, matters of the heart. So again, we have the dynamic, we have the classic heart and mind thing going on right here in the front, like what I feel versus what I think. Now, when it comes to the water, that is, again, partnerships, connections, things or people that we are emotionally invested in, situations that we care deeply for. So I like it. It's imaginative, it's creative, it's super artistic. So water energy can be very good for that. But the big downside with water is that it could be very overwhelming at the same time. So again, with this little balancing act that we got going on, and yeah, it could just be another person. We'll see. Moving to the back end, we have fire that actually works very well with Aquarius energy. Fire is the realm of action. So whether it's actions you take, the actions you want to take, the actions you decide not to take, it could deal with health, vitality, energy levels. All of that can be in play with fire. The only downside to fire is, although it is super high energy, it could be volatile, right? It could look like it's going one way, then go another, right? There's an explosiveness to it. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with a beauty, right? We got the lovers right here in position number one. The Gemini card, if you're connected to Gemini or have Gemini placements, boom, that could be it right here. Notice the Archangel Michael and the Adam and Eve symbolism. Love this card. We have the sun shining bright right in the top. So I like this card. Now, in my simplistic style, it might just tell us something that's coming towards you or what you might be feeling for the duration of Gemini season, which we just started. But lovers obviously represents partnerships, right? So it doesn't always have to be a lover. It could be a very good friend, it could be a close family member. Soul bond, soul tie. That's what we always think of with this, where it's like two people on very similar vibrational frequencies, which is really good. Now, if you're not having issues with partnerships, if we're not looking at someone else's energy here, which we might be, the lovers is very healing because of Archangel Raphael. That's the archangel of healing that helps us heal through things. I like it. It's smooth, it's silky, easy flowing, easy going. So to me, it's not too fast, not too slow, which I think is great. Now, the downside with the lovers is sometimes it could represent issues we are having with people that are on a similar vibrational frequency. So watch out for that. Like people that we care deep for, right? When we're having issues with people that we care for, it hurts more. The lovers can also be an energy that feels a little too easy at the same time. So we'll keep an eye. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Knight of Cups. Beautiful. And Prince Charming type of energy, water sign. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This is like Prince Charming, smooth talker type of vibe. And I always say when it comes to all knights, they represent action and communication. So again, we have a lot of chatting, a lot of yapping going on in your spread this week. Now, the Knight of Cups isn't too fast. It's not too slow, just right. Nice medium pace. So I do like this. It's not rushed and it's not taking its time too much. So this is great. This could be some emotional, fulfilling conversation as well. This is huge when it comes to love reading. So again, you know me, I'm not saying this is specifically a love reading, but when we got the lovers and the Knight of Cups, for some of you, it very well could be. Right. So just something to keep in mind. The downside with the Knight of Cups is sometimes it's an energy that either plays off of somebody's feelings, where it's like, oh, I want to make them feel this, so I'm going to say that. I don't want to say emotional manipulation, but it's an energy that knows how to play off of people's emotions, or it's an energy that's not opening up at all. So we're going to keep a close eye on him. A lot of chit chat going on. Now, on the back end here, we do have the Emperor, beautiful Aries energy. So if you're connected to one, if you have Aries placements, boom, right there. Now, the Emperor himself, he does get a bit of a bad reputation. I would say he's the King of Kings when I see him. Right, so this is an energy of control. It's a shot caller. It's very entrepreneurial. What I say goes. So there is a structure tied to it. It can represent bosses, authority figures. Remember, it's very entrepreneurial. It's that shot caller vibe. So this could be an energy you're stepping into in this time where it's like, I want to do this for myself. It's very independent, which I think is great. But the downside to the Emperor, although it's got its stuff together, sometimes the energy can be a little too overbearing. Sometimes it's an energy that could be too controlling or an energy that's not flexible enough. So it's like we have an energy that could be too flexible and then one that's too rigid. So we need to see how it all plays. But again, Aquarius, like this could be all other people showing up here, right? So I want to dive deeper on all of it, my friends. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Aquarius friends, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Lovers. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why are the Lovers here, please? Thank you. Cool. Okay. Ace of Swords in reverse. So we do have this energy that's like talking and talking and talking. Yeah, watch out for the gossipy stuff. Now, in this time, I'm not saying don't trust anyone, but there is this energy where it's like, hey, just watch what you tell to this person. Because to me, this kind of feels like a game of telephone that's happening. I'm not sure if you've ever played that in school, where it's like you start with one person that starts with a piece of information, whispers it to the next person, and it goes around the classroom. By the time it gets to person number 10, it's a completely different story with a bunch of stuff added. So that's how this feels to me. It's like information circulating it. It does feel very gossipy this week, Aquarius. So again, I'm not saying you're gossiping, but just watch out for that. Like watch what you say to who. Again, now the Ace of Swords is called the Sword of Truth, right? It's usually very straightforward, to the point, sharp, serious type of energy. So in reverse, underneath the Lovers, could this just be a sentimental energy? You ever have a person in your life where it's like, this person just knows how to press my buttons, or I just have a soft spot for this person? This could be it, right? Lovers with the Ace of Swords in reverse. It's like, I'm just a fool for this person. Or it's like, I just have a soft spot. If you're going through love related things, it's like this person just knows how to press those buttons, right? Um, this doesn't feel like someone's lying to you, so to speak. But to me, I really want to say, watch out for the gossip, watch out for the information. Even if it's like people that you normally would find trustworthy, which is weird. So we're going to keep going. We're not going to investigate that too much. We'll see if more information comes through. But there's so much here in the way of communication. There's so much here in the way of other people getting involved. We're going to see what the Knight of Cups has. Yeah, so of course, watch out for miscommunications as well, misunderstandings. All that could be in play. But let's see what's up with the Knight of Cups. I don't know what that was about the soft spot, but why is the Knight of Cups here? It's very passive type of energy. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, pardon me, in reverse underneath this Knight of Cups. Okay, this is hyper specific, Aquarius, but this seems to be somebody that's trying to change something or control something from behind the scenes in a very subtle way, where it's like I'm trying to influence what happens, but um, I have a level of deniability here. I know this is very specific, but just watch out for anything like that. Because, like with the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, like, I didn't do it. I didn't say anything. Why would you think me? Ooh, me? I would never. It's like one of those. It's so very specific this week. Now, again, there's good cards. There's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of people yapping. Watch out for the gossiping. Again, whether it's gossiping at you or to you, I would not perpetuate any of it. Because when I see all this information around talking, you might be receiving incorrect information somewhere along the line, and you do not want to pass it forward. So that's not what I normally get when I get this like chatty type of energy. If there's energy you're receiving, it might be better to like double check the information, like fact check it. This is very specific this week. Now, the Ten of Pentacles has a lot of people in it, right? Could represent home, family. Usually it's a level up type of energy, solid and stable. So when I see it in reverse, it's an energy that's trying to change things. It's trying to stir things up. It's trying to move from A to B. It's trying to shift the dynamic. This could also be someone like sending I hate saying this because I feel like it makes me sound wild, but like saying things subliminally, like, so on the internet where like sometimes people will post something, but it's to like get a message through to someone. It's like subliminal conversation as well. This is wild this week, Aquarius. We're going to keep going. Watch out for that. Like, it's like reading between the lines and subliminal conversation, and I'm saying things this, but I mean the opposite. I don't know what the hell all of it is, because like it's even confusing me, because it's like, if the facts aren't right, then why are you saying it? It's so weird. watch out for the gossip. I feel like this is a warning this week about people being too chatty. But let's move over to the Emperor. We'll see what he has, then we'll do a quick little recap. And there could just be things that you need to fact check as well. I feel like I'm getting way too hyper specific. Like if this was a personal reading, I'd be cool with it. But since it's a general reading on YouTube, it's like, all right, we're getting too in the weeds here. Let's go in on the Emperor. Let's see what he has. Then we'll do a quick little recap. Okay. Seven of Swords underneath the Emperor here, huh? Now this is somebody trying to keep something quiet. Keep something quiet. Like, no. The information stops here. Now, depending on what's going on here, this could be a very good thing. Where I doesn't necessarily feel like somebody's sweeping something under the rug, but all this is chatty, yappy. But when the energy reaches here, or when the communication or the information reaches here, that's where it stops. Where it's like, okay, this information goes no further from here. So again, I don't think it's necessarily someone sweeping something under the rug, but it's like this is where it stops. It's like a firm boundary, if that makes sense. Now, the Seven of Swords usually just represents something that's hidden information, hidden motives. You know, we got some weird stuff here this week, Aquarius, if I'm just being very honest with you. Sometimes it can represent lies and untrustworthy and all that kind of stuff. But like for some reason, when I see it get to the Emperor, it's like this is where it stops. This is where it stops. This is the boundary. It does not go further from here. So like whatever it is that's circulating, whatever information that's circulating, there is a point where it's like, nope, this is where it ends. This is where it stops, and that's it. That's just how it feels to me. And maybe this is your energy coming in to act that way. Maybe it's someone else's where it's like, oh, we're not talking about this anymore. Like, I don't want to hear this. That's not substantiated, if that makes sense. We're getting way too in the weeds here, Aquarius. But I think the big warnings here with all the chit chat and other people and all the gossiping, I think they're very valid. So whether it's people that bring the information to you or whether it's you giving information to someone else and people trying to twist it and change it, and then it changes from person to person until it reaches a point where it's like bullshit. This goes no further. Pardon my language. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. So a lot of hyper specific stuff here. It feels very complicated. So watch out for like group things, group dynamics, work, business, friends, all that stuff. It just feels very complicated and chatty. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Lovers with the Ace of Swords. This is where we started getting that little game of telephone starting up here. I did also pick up something about a person that you might just have a soft spot for, where it's like, all right, well, you know what? Even if they're wrong, I have a soft spot for this person. It's very specific. Just watch out for that. And again, the giving or receiving of information, because I have this Knight of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles in the center, which feels like somebody that's trying to get a result without making it look like it's them. So I'm not a fan of that behavior, right? I'm an Aries and I have a Scorpio moon. So when I see this type of behavior, I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. Not like that. So this energy feels like it's giving itself a layer of deniability, and it's also like subposting or subliminal messaging or like sending messages through other people. It's very complicated. So just watch who and what you're talking about with who, information you receive, fact check it, all that stuff. Moving to the back end, we have our good pal the Emperor with the Seven of Swords. The information stops right here. It goes no further from here. So either this is someone stomping it out or nipping it in the bud, or I don't know. This is just where it stops. This is where the boundary is. So it doesn't spread like wildfire because someone comes in and clamps it down. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card here just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get it going here. What do we got? Thank you. Are we surprised that it's another person? Are we surprised that it's the Knight of Cups again? Which the one I was saying was like saying things and dropping little hints and information from behind the scenes, and now we get the Knight of Cups in the shadows as well on top of it. So again, the good thing with the Knight of Cups, yes, it's emotional, it's very smooth, it's a big talker, big yapper. So again, watch the information you're sharing with individuals, right? Unless there's someone that you are ride or die believe that this person is a lockbox of information, and you do what you got to do. But there's a lot of loose lips showing up in your reading this week. There is. And again, no judgment here, but I will not feed into too much gossip or hearsay. I wouldn't, especially with this Knight of Cups, because it's an energy that's trying to get an emotional reaction out of me. It's trying to make me feel a certain way, kind of like a news anchor with an agenda, where it's like I'm trying to amp the people up, I'm trying to amp them up. I don't vibe with that. So just that's something to be aware of, especially with the Knight of Cups. If your gut, if your intuition is telling you something feels off, something doesn't feel right, you're probably right with this card in the shadows. So Aquarius, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.